Here we go.
Good morning, YouTube. This is man George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Badminton Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Well, folks, this is a busy weekend. We have a couple of shows coming up, and one is tomorrow. And this show's been around for a long time. I think it's going to be almost 6 years since the show debuted back in the early 2000s, back in the early 2020s. This is the Texas Pro. And it's a top-notch show. It's one of the next to last shows for Olympic qualification for WPD. As you know, with the Olympic this year being in September, the deadline for Olympic qualification ends August 30th. So for both women's physique and women's bodybuilding, they have 2 more shows, and then after that, shut down. And any show after that is for next year's qualification. So the list dropped on Monday, and it dropped really early because I was surprised. I think, as you know, we were doing live on Monday, me and my partners, and the list was already dropped around about 6 o'clock. Some other lists come out like 7 or 8 o'clock, but I was very excited to see the list dropped out, and there's some impressive lineup here. Some ladies who've been a guest on my channel, some ladies who just competed just last weekend doing this show, and some ladies are making their pro debuts. So, we have at least 20 women in this list, and some are Olympian level competitors, some are newcomers to the IFBB, and it's exciting to see what they're going to bring for the Texas Pro. As you know, big prize money, first place gets $15,000, and that's been sponsored by Sarah Vilgas. As you know, this year she's not given the Prestige Award anymore. It's a procedure, the Ascension Award, as they called it. She's taken it out this year, but she's still putting up and supporting this show. So first person I got to shout out here is the lovely Miss Maria Barber. And she's from South America. She's been in the game for quite some time, and she's done this show quite a few times. I think it's the first show for her in a year. It's been a couple of years since she last competed. Next up is a lady who's been a guest on my channel, the lovely Miss Jada Beverly. Jada made a return back to WP as a stint when she was in wellness. She did both the the Portugal Pro and Chicago Pro. Shout out to Jada. I was surprised you're doing this show, but like I said again, she wants to really get back into the things of WPD. Next up we have is Jennifer Dees. As you know, Miss Dees just made her pro debut last month at the Chicago Pro, where she was in top 3. And that's pretty good. And, she's a impressive lady, impressive physique. And as you know, this is her pro debut this year. Next up is Linka Farnikova. As you know, Linka just got her 3rd Olympic qualification at the Atlanta Pro. And she was busy. She did the Portugal, she did Tampa, and then she finally got that shot here in Texas. She done a show right after she won a qualification. I think it was her second or first qualification back in 2021 when the show debuted. Next up is one Miss Brittany Gagan Mills. And Mrs. Mills just turned pro last month at the USA Championship. She competed both women's physique and women's bodybuilding, but got a pro card in women's bodybuilding. But shout out to her. As you know, she used to be a motocross rider, and now she got into bodybuilding. And this is, again, both made her bodybuilding debut and making her pro debut. That's almost like what Hunter Henderson did about a few years back. Next up we have is Janine Hakzoniga, and she just also got a pro card. She got a pro card at the USA Championships in WPD. Ladies also a coach and a trainer, impressive physique, doing pretty good and jumping into the fire already. I mean, especially Texas. I mean, it's barely been, her show was, she got the title back in July, and it's already the middle of August and making a pro debut, just like Brittany. Next up is a lady who I got the pleasure of meeting when I was in Tampa last year. And this is going to be her 3rd show, and she's trying to get back to Olympia. As you know, she was top 5 last year, top 3 the year before. She is the lovely Miss Sharonka Hinton, Mrs. Sharonka Hinton. As you know, she was 2nd at Tampa, 2nd at Atlanta. And honestly, I feel like I hope she gets the show. I honestly do. But with Linka, who won the show last weekend at Atlanta, I wish she'd done the Rising Phoenix. Actually, the Arizona Pro. I'm sorry. I'm going to correct myself. I think she had a better chance. It's all female panel, and I think the judges are more biased to the bigger girls. But like I said, I'm a fan of Sharonka, and I hope she does get her opportunity to go back for the Olympia for the umpteenth time. Next up, we have is the lovely Miss Janetta Johansson from Sweden. As I call it, the medium Swede, because she's good friends with the big Swede herself, Irene Anderson. We hadn't seen Janetta last time, or was it back in 2024 when she last competed? She also was the top 5 of the Texas Pro of that year. So she's coming back, and maybe she can try to get a qualification here. And then also there is the the Arizona Pro coming up after that. I gotta remember there's the Rising Phoenix for women's bodybuilding, Arizona Pro for everybody else. So yeah. Next up, we have a lady who's been a guest on my channel quite a few times, the lovely Mrs. Donna Jones. As you know, Donna just last month got her second Masters Olympic qualification at Chicago. And she's coming in. She done a show a few years ago. She was in top 5 the last time she competed here. And I think she's a great lady, great physique. I hope she does well. Most definitely, shout out to Donna. Next up, we have this one Miss Alexandra Carey. And Miss Carey is from Great Britain. We've been contacted a few times. I just posted my video for the show, and she just shared it. And I appreciate that. She tagged me back. I appreciate when they share it in their stories. And when the ones really tag me back, she tagged me back. Others just share it, but they don't tag me back. But I appreciate it too, Alexandra, and best of luck to her. She does a show quite some time ago. Next up we have here is the lovely Mrs. Melissa Keebler, and I believe this is going to be her pro debut. Next up we have is Alisa Kissling, and we have not seen Lisa compete here since I think 2023. 2024. She has been here quite a few often. She's been a top 5 competitor the last time she was here. This is a possibility, as you know. If she brings in a great look, great physique, she can possibly crack in the top 5 or probably win it. But she's been close a couple of times since she's been to Texas. Next up, we have one Miss Jordan Lincombe, and this is going to be, I think, her first show of the year. Next up we have is Gabriela Linkhova. As you know, she did a couple of shows in the figure division, and after Ultima, she switched to the Toronto Super Show. She also did the Imperial in Spain. So this is going to be her third appearance in WPD ever since she switched from figure. Next up, we have one Miss Sarah Lowe, and this is going to be her pro debut. Next up, we have is Alexis Lowry, or Alex Lowry. As you know, she's been this show quite a few times. I think she's competed the last 3 years in Texas, and also last year she competed at the Arizona Pro. Impressive young lady, impressive physique. Let's see how well she does. Next up, we have is Malin Nilsson from Sweden, or another Swede. And this is going to be her pro debut. I think she turned pro earlier this year. Also, we have is Brooke Piggin from Canada. I'm a big fan of the female body from Canada. Brooke was active. We did a couple of shows. So last time she competed was the Romania Muscle Fest. She's done Texas a couple of times. Impressive lady. Kind of tall, too. That's the thing is, the taller women have a harder time. They really feel like the muscle to compete with some of these other women. But she has a great physique. I'm a fan of her. It's a great set of abs. My man David interviewed her. And I mean, I think he did a little ab flex for her. Next one we have is Amanda Powell. And I believe this will be her pro debut also. And right here, last but not least, we had the lovely Mrs. Mariana Van Gecke from Chile. And you know, interviewed her some time ago. She is a lawyer, family law. She has a son who's autistic. Shout out to, her being a good mother and raising him, And she's been to Olympia. She got her first qualification back in 2024 when she won the Vancouver Isle show. As you know, there's only 3 competitors that year, but still, hey, a win's a win. You got to take it where you can get it. But she's looking to try to get back to Olympia. I mean, this is going to be a tough show. And, she's a impressive physique, but it's going to be a tough lineup. So the mates you got to compete against a lot of top level competitors. But I wish her best of luck to Mariana. Now, here we have the list for the figure division. And figure, as usual, is stacked. We have maybe over 20 women competing here. And impressive lineup. Some ladies who are Olympia level competitors, some ladies who just competed the show this past weekend, and some ladies are probably most definitely making their pro debut here. Next one we have is Shanice Abrams. Now, Miss Abrams has been a 2-time figure Olympian. She took a break some time ago. Now she's making a return this year. Next up we have is Tamara Barrett. And Miss Barrett, this is going to be her, her second show. She just got qualification for Olympia early this month at the Tampa Bay Pro. And President Zeke, I hope she does well. Next up we have is Zafaya Baryetsfeta from Kazakhstan. I'm going ZB. I hate to mess up her name. And this is going to be her, I think, her third show, because I know she did both the Tampa Pro, she did the Atlanta Pro, and now this show. And a press lady, and I hope she does well. Next up we have is, I think we might have put in the wrong person, but this is supposed to be Amanda. Is it Amanda Griffin? I think it's Amanda Griffin. I might got it. Yeah, I think it's Amanda Griffin. And Amanda Griffin, this is her home state of Texas. So I wish her all the best of luck. Next up we have is one. Sorry, that's the wrong one. That is, let me go back to that one. That is Jessica Shaddy. I want to apologize. Jessica Shaddy. That's who that is. I'm looking at the list. I'm skipping over names, but Jessica Shaddy from New Zealand, and this is going to be her third show. She did both Tampa and she did Atlanta. Next up we have is Nelly Gonzalez from Mexico. We have here is Amanda Griffin. Amanda has been busy. I think this is going to be her third show of the year. This is her home state of Texas. She just did Atlanta, and I believe she also did Tampa too, if I remember the list. But President Lady, she's also coached by Ashley Jones. Next up we have here one Miss Natasha Grimm. I believe this is going to be her pro debut. Next up we have is one Miss Jennifer Johnson, and she last competed at Tampa about a couple of years ago. Next up we have is Misaki Kuchi, and she was busy also. This is going to be her third show, coming away from Japan, doing both the Tampa show, doing the Atlanta show. She was in the top 10 of the top 5 at the Atlanta Pro, and now this is her third show of the year. Shout out to ladies coming from Asia, Japan, other countries, and representing themselves and their countries. Next up, we have a lady who I'm a fan of. Wow, she has, and we'll be talking on social media. I'm hoping to cross my fingers and have her on for a review. And this is the lovely Miss Michelle McNamee. And she is a press physique. She was in the top 5, actually top 10. She was 6th place at the Tampa Bay Pro. And I mean, she at least beat out a couple of ladies who were lip level competitors to get 6th place, get into the top 10. She has a press physique. I mean, great look to her. And, she's a firefighter, so I say thank you for your service. I mean, I'm a fan of hers. She has a beautiful back. Not a big fan of her tattoo, but her back is just amazing. She's good friends with Lindsay Contreras. She's a client of Justin Jacoby. I'd love to have, because, I'm getting a lot of his girls do interviews with, and they're really open to it. And I hope she has the time. We set up something maybe sometime before I head off my trip to Pittsburgh. Next up we have is the lovely Mrs. Jessica McWilliams, and I think last time she competed was at Tupelo Pro. We have here is Andrea Audrey Jokovic. This chick is busy. I think this got to be her 10th show. I mean, she did a show in Brazil. She did a couple of shows in Europe. She did most shows in America. Last couple of shows, she was in the top 3, top 5. Even one show she was in Brazil where she didn't do too well. She kind of talked about it. And now she's doing this show in Texas. And chick, call this a wrap. Whoever is paying for this chick to travel these shows, she must got a good sugar daddy. Because you got to think about it. She's done at least half the shows here in America, a couple of shows overseas, and a couple of shows, south of the border. And one show she did, I think she also was at the Toronto Super Show. That's north of the border. And she has had the highest was 2nd, and then 3rd, and the lowest she was like 8th or 9th. I think you should shut it down. I know you want to get to Olympia, but it's not worth the expense running and do all these shows and not even getting there. Next up we have is Natalia Pofatova. She's American. I saw this, and she earned her pro card last year at the Amateur Olympia. So this is going to be her pro debut also. Next up we have is Lena Ramsteiner from Germany. And Lena has been a multiple-time Olympian in the figure division. Her last show was the Mexico Pro, where she beat out Jessica Reyes Padilla, who was just took third place at the Olympia. She beat out a top Olympic competitor, a first runner up multiple times, and beat her out in this show in Mexico. And she's always qualified for this Olympia, so she's just going to be active and be competitive. I understand that. We figured they have more shows. I think I'll let that go a little bit, but still, I think you want to take a step back a little bit and focus on Olympia, but whatever she wants to do, that's her. Next up we have is Gabriella Recob, and she also last competed at the Atlanta Pro. Next up we have a woman's Kelly Samut, and this is going to be her pro debut. Not her pro debut. She competed last time at the New York Pro a couple years ago, just about. Next up we have the lovely Mrs. Nakisha Shrugs, and this is going to be her first show since she last competed in 2023. She did Charlotte Pro. You know, Charlotte Pro does not carry figure anymore. Kind of disappointed about that. Really want to maybe someday go up there and check that show out since it's in my backyard. But there's another show coming up that's in Charlotte that does going to have a figure exclusively. Next up is Nancy Winkler, and I think this will be a fourth or fifth show because I know she did both the Pittsburgh Pro. She did it's just Jeannie Kessel. I forgot to confuse. I know she did a couple of shows here in the States. She did the Atlanta and also Tampa. So this is going to be her fifth or sixth show of the year. And she's chasing after that Olympic qualification. And I think she really needs to step back. She did good in a couple of shows, cracked the top 5, but her last show, she was, next to the bottom in the 16th to 15th spot. Next up we have is Paige Worth, and she was last active in both Chicago and Tampa. So this is going to be a third show for her. And we have here is, she was on the list because when I posted this out, when I emailed myself this, Helen, she's from Greece, she was not on the list. So she was a leftover. So she had to drop out because of circumstances. So I didn't catch it till this morning, so it's too late. So we can move on. And last but not least, we have is Lisa Zerler from Germany. I mean, figure has a lot of German competitors. A lot seem like it. The list is so long. She just last competed at the Portugal Pro. This is her first show in the States, and I think maybe her second or third show of the year. So wish her best of luck. So anyway, the Texas Pro is starting tomorrow for figure physique. And then they're going to have another part of it for the other divisions. I think it's mostly for Saturday. It's going to be 212 men's open and fit model, and all the others for tomorrow. That's why I'm doing the video today. So if you want to check out the show tomorrow, I'm going to leave a link in the description. I'm not going to watch because, again, I'm like this. I don't support. Shout the battle up. I really appreciate. They've been doing a good work. But again, I support shows that support women's bodybuilding. I would love to have this. I would love to have women's bodybuilding in Texas because there's so many competitors in women's bodybuilding that live in Texas. I would love to have a show within their home state. I mean, people like Mila Ashley Jones in Texas. I believe so many others who will live in Texas. I know Marilyn Yee. She moved to Texas a while back. There was talk about it, but it never happened. Maybe next year. Maybe we get somebody who can sponsor it, cover the sanction fees. You don't have to be like Sarah, give up $15,000, but maybe get a good enough money to make it tempting for some ladies to compete at this show. So shout out to Freddie, shout out to the lovely Miss Sheila Brown. Thank you for promoting this show and giving this fight opportunity for women in bodybuilding. And this is man always George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk. Don't like, subscribe. I'm out.